Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here today. Before we get started, I just want to confirm again, are all of you muted? And can you all hear me well? Can you all see me well? Thank you, Lavanya. I see your thumbs up. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Chandni. I am a certified dream builder coach and the founder of Ask Me Wellness. I work with clients from all over the world online. My mission is to help my clients to go from low energy and burnout to high energy and motivation so that they can find their true source of power, which is within them. And they can crush their goals with unstoppable momentum. And so the three keys that I will share with you today, these are powerful, time-tested principles that have helped me and thousands of others to create results in their lives. And so I invite you to turn off all notifications and be in this sacred 1 hour with me. Get a pen and a paper because we are going to be doing a life assessment for you. And we will create a blueprint for your dream life so that you can start creating the results that you want. And we'll be together for about an hour. I may go over time a little bit, and I apologize in advance if that happens. You may leave or you can stay on if that's okay with you. Are you excited and thrilled to learn the steps that actually make results happen in your life? Give me a thumbs up or your favorite emoji. Okay, I see you, Manju Jacob. Awesome. So thank you, Manju Sajid. I see you. And Chitra, thank you. You are an engaged audience. I love you for it. I appreciate you for it. Thank you. And so our time is precious. So let's figure out who this workshop is for. Do you feel low in energy and confidence sometimes? Have you ever felt confused or overwhelmed about taking important decisions in your life? Do you struggle to stay calm, to stay focused and emotionally balanced, especially with your kids? Do you have a big dream, but you just don't know what are the steps that you should take to make that dream happen? Or have you spent years, maybe years or decades, wishing for better health, more youthfulness, or a better, more fulfilling career? Or maybe you just know you want something more from life, but you cannot pinpoint it. Or I want you to consider this question. Do you often look back and wonder what happened to the woman that you knew yourself to be in your 20s? What happened to all her amazing dreams and her plans to make an impact in the world? If you can relate to any of these, then I want to tell you, thank you for being here because you are in the right place. You see, I have heard Mary Morrissey, my mentor, say, if we are casual with life, life will be casual with us. So in the short time we have, let's get serious. Let's get serious and engage with this wonderful thing that's happening within us. And it's called life. So I want to tell you a little story now. There was this mother mouse. If you're a mom, you know, mother mice are also fierce like us. She was leading her 3 little babies through a house. And then suddenly, out of the blue, a cat jumped out. And the cat was hungry and ready to eat its dinner. And it was heading towards her mother and her babies. And then the mother reacted quickly. She just stood on her hind legs like this, made herself look bigger, and she shouted loud, "Whoa, whoa!" The cat got startled. It got frightened, and it just ran away. So the mother turned to her little kids who were hiding behind her and told them, "Now listen, children, never underestimate the power of knowing more than one language." So let us remind ourselves, we can learn a new language anytime in our life when we want. And we can teach and demonstrate to our kids, especially our daughters, who are going to watch and learn from their mothers what success looks like as a mother. And so today we will learn the language of success, a new language, so that we can model that for our kids. And it's a language that successful people have used over centuries. It has been studied and demonstrated. So no one is born knowing it. It's like any language, you have to practice it. Next time when you see someone who looks more confident or more capable than you are, remember that they probably learned and practiced the language of success, and you can learn it too. Now let's come to the crux of it. Is there an area in your life? Is there any one area or multiple areas where you would love better results? For instance, would you love more energy, more confidence, more time, better health? Or how about this? This is something I wanted for a long time. More sense of authority with my kids who are growing up. Yeah? Give me a hand raise or a thumbs up if you have longed for energy, confidence, time, or respect with your kids. Know this. Yeah, I see you, Manju. I see you, Chitra. I see all of you. Thank you. Whatever your results have been up until now, you have the power to create new results. It's not your fault you have been stuck for years, because we were not taught, if you get stuck, how to make ourselves unstuck in a way that was easy. The good news is there is a system. If you follow that system and design process, it'll give you results, but with more joy, more fun, and more ease. And that's what we are going to study today. What can you hope to gain from spending this hour with me? These are the things that we are going to cover, okay? We will do a total life assessment for you. We'll work on a clear vision for your dream. In the short time that we have, we'll do our best. We will practice ways for you to boost your energy, your mood, and your balance and focus. You will be able to feel more confident to take bold, aligned action for your dream. And you're going to learn the most important thing, the 3 keys to predictable success that is effortless and fun for you. And you will also identify and be able to address the blocks, the pitfalls that are keeping you stuck. Can I have a yes in the chat if that's a good outcome? Would it be okay if in the next 1 hour or however much time we have together, you had a few of these outcomes? Would that be good? Give me a thumbs up if that's true for you. That's wonderful. Thank you. You're amazing. So you see, in the last 30 years, I have worked in Canada and in India in multiple careers. And I found that no matter where we live or who we are, we all have dreams. And our dreams are very special to us. You know why? Because they are born out of the specific challenges that we face or the pain that we experience in our life. They are not random. They are not accidental. Our dreams are born of the challenges that we face in our own lives. Because you see, we live in a universe that actually talks to each one of us individually. And it communicates through 2 powerful signals that are meant for us to grow. And those 2 signals are, one is longing, which is pulling us towards something, which is something new. And then the other is discontent. Discontent is pushing us away from something that is not working for us, something that's making us feel unfulfilled or mad or sad or angry. These 2 emotions or feelings, these are catalysts for our personal growth. And we need these signals. These are soul signals that point us towards the growth that is waiting for us. Can I ask you, has anyone here felt guilty about the fact that you want more, that you desire more, or you are dissatisfied with something, and you feel that you should be feeling more grateful, only grateful, or you have so many blessings, more than so many other people who have less than you? Have you felt as if this was bad of you? Let me know. I'd like to know. Put a yes in the chat. I don't know if I can see the chat. Probably can. If you have, then I want to assure you that you do not have to feel guilty. And that's because even a tiny blade of grass will press through the cement in order to seek the light and to become more of a better blade of grass. And you and I, we are no different. We are a form of life that is also always seeking to grow and to expand. From today, if you have ever felt guilty, my invitation is to put away the guilt, set it aside, and invite in these feelings as your call from your soul to grow and to go in a direction that helps you to expand. You may be in a lot of pain in some aspects of your life. Maybe you have a deep yearning. Maybe it's too painful to even consider, and that's okay. But just for this moment, just for a few minutes, Let us welcome all these feelings, these challenges, these pains, these frustrations we experience in life. Because you see, whether it's the pain of a problem or a painfully burning desire for something new, we need these two energies to create new results. No pain means no motive for taking action, and that means no progress. You know, Reverend Michael Beckwith said this: we are pushed by pain until we are pulled by a vision. So let's welcome the pain. Let me share a bit about how I came to be a life coach. Have you ever felt utterly helpless as you're lying naked on a table, surrounded by people that you just met, strapped down by wires, feeling so tense and anxious, but unable to run, shout, or fight, or move? And someone tells you calmly that you almost died. That was my experience. So I had been in Canada for 2 years and I was looking forward to doing my master's. My life was full of possibilities. We had just bought a new home and I was an active, optimistic, a little cocky, arrogant. 36-year-olds, they feel they know everything in life. And I have had a new banking job. Life was set. And that's when I found out that I was pregnant. It was a high risk pregnancy, and my uterus was thin. I had 2 previous C-sections, a lot of complications or potential complications. But I was optimistic because I had a great gynecologist. She was so friendly. She was so confident. She said, no, we got this. On the day of the surgery, I was taken to the theater as planned. But to my shock, the gynecologist I met a couple of days ago, she was not there. And a strange gynecologist said hello to me, and she knew nothing about my history or my risk. Again, I calmed my nerves. I tried to relax as the surgery began. And then a few minutes into the surgery, the anesthesiologist who was sitting on the side of me, he told me, you're lucky someone up there was looking out for you. Your uterus had started to split and your baby's face was already coming out. So in that anxious state of mind that I was in, I did not hear the miracle that he had shared. Instead, my thoughts went like this. I almost died. So I am only alive by some dumb, sheer fluke. I am such a fool. I almost lost my baby and I left my 12-year-old and my 5-year-old kids without their mother after bringing them to this strange, cold country. And so with those thoughts and the shock of everything that had happened, I totally lost trust in myself, in the others that I was relying on, and I felt cut off from any presence of God or divineness or anything that had kept me supported. So for a few years, for me in my life, it was brutally lonely and isolating because I also didn't know what was happening. So this is me a few years ago. I think I must have been about 38 years old at this time. And this is me much later. So we'll come to that. But from then on, what happened is that I always felt like my life was like skating on thin ice. Anything could fall apart at any time. So I became hyper vigilant. I had migraines. I had chronic fatigue. I had brain fog. I had all kinds of pain and weird symptoms that nobody could diagnose. I lost all my dreams because I was like, I don't have the energy to just get through the day. What dreams am I talking about? So I had no hope of doing any studies or anything ambitious. And I became timid. I became self-conscious and I had low self-esteem, so that I would turn red or be embarrassed if a customer was slightly rude to me. And at home, when I was alone, what I did was eat food. And I was on WhatsApp and Facebook a lot, distracting myself with other things. Time passed and I was working part-time and managing my life. But in 2018, my older son had a bad concussion and I was the only parent available. The paramedics were asking me questions because my son was unconscious and I could not answer because I lost it. I was so depleted. I was so much in my own pain that I could not help my son by answering the questions the medical people were asking me. And so with that, I was almost close to a breakdown, and that was my wake-up call. I decided to quit my job, study nutrition, and I learned more and more about coaching, and I started a business. And I realized that most moms that I worked with struggled with energy. Most of them gave up too soon, and it was disheartening. because I could see that I was the same person. I was just like them, especially when it came to my business. I was flaky, I was inconsistent, I was unhappy. And so that's when I saw Mary Morrissey's video and heard her story, in which she describes her shame after she was a teen. She had a teen pregnancy. And when I heard her, I felt like she was talking about my shame, about my guilt that was holding me back from my true power. And so it was not convenient for me at all, but I decided to become a life coach and learn about more than food, more than nutrition. That was the final puzzle piece for me, because my inner dialogue for the last few years had been so unkind. And though I was normal on the outside, deep inside, I believed that I did not deserve to feel good. And so, as I learned the principles and applied dream building, I began to genuinely start loving myself, and I started loving my life more. And with that, I started backing my dreams more. My energy returned, and I changed, and I became more of a leader in my relationship with my kids. You see, my kids were not babies anymore. Many years had passed. My kids are teenagers, preteens, adults. And so I was able to become more of a leader with them. And looking back, I can see that my old ways of living had stopped working, and I had lost spiritual meaning and life purpose. And that was what kept me stuck. So I'm here to tell you, no matter how many years you have struggled with any of these things, it doesn't matter. You too have the power to change. And we are going to learn how that's possible. Because I see moms as role models for their kids and communities. When a mom is transformed, she affects and benefits multiple generations. Okay? So today is my honor. It's my privilege to share some of these principles that I learned so that you can also master some of these. And so these are part of my Dream Builder program, which I'm certified to teach. And you're going to be able to learn and apply some of the things that I teach today. I promise. In the time I have, I will not hold anything back. Just like I shared my full story with you, I will share anything that I can. And some of you may feel called and inspired to work at a deeper level on a specific dream that you have been struggling to make happen. And for you, at the end, I will offer you an opportunity so that we can work together if you want. Okay? So let's look at how we create results. So this is what you're here for, to learn this. How do we create results? Write this number down, 525,600. Does anyone know what this number represents? If anyone knows, raise a hand or unmute yourself and tell me what it represents. This is the number of minutes that every one of us gets in 365 days. As long as we keep breathing for the next 1 year, we will all get this number of minutes and we will all get results in our life. You see, we cannot not create results. We will be creating results anyway. If we take life as it comes, those results will be by default. Or we can make a new choice and live by design. When we live by design, we have more of a say in our results. And let's look at how that works. So there are 4 key domains in our lives in which we create results: health and well-being, love and relationships, vocation, and time and money freedom. And the reason we are considering everything holistically is because your results in one area is going to affect your results in other areas. So we want to look at everything. And right now, you're experiencing variable results in each of these areas. Some you love, and others are not what you wanted. The good news is your current results in any of these areas, they are a direct reflection of your level of awareness in each area. So just like me, your opportunity lies in increasing your awareness in these areas so that you can get better results. What I'm saying, is it landing for you? Give me a thumbs. Okay, Chitra, I see a thumbs up from you. All right, perfect. Manju, I see you. Lavanya, that's wonderful. Let's play a game about what it means to have awareness. Okay, what is awareness? I want you to look at this picture and spot. If you've played this game before, then you already know. But for anybody for whom it is new, look at this picture. Okay, and my challenge to you is to spot all the yellow colored objects and be able to name them. All the yellow colored objects. Take a few seconds. Now, if you have noted all the yellow colored objects, close your eyes. Now, I want you to try and recollect all the red colored objects in the room. The red colored objects. Did anybody notice all the reds, or did you only notice the yellows? Give me a thumbs up if you noticed yellows but not the reds.
Only the yellows, Chandni.
Only the yellows? Okay. Thank you, Manju. I appreciate that. So this is what happened. Most of you notice the yellow, but not the red objects. That is because you have selective seeing. That is a sign that your reticular activation system is working well. You see, the RAS is that part of your brain, which is like your Google search. It filters out everything that is not relevant, and it finds and notices what you are searching for. Whatever that is, it doesn't judge you. Do you see where I'm going with this? So what we pay attention to, that's what our reticular activation system will find for us, because that's how our brain is designed to work. So it's like saying, seek and you shall find. But here's the catch. When we grow older, what are we seeking more of? What do we focus on? We focus on the things that could go wrong, how we can stay safe and avoid failure. We are looking for the problems that might come up when we get started on something new. If you have noticed the yellows but not the reds, your RAS has been trained to do that. Likewise, in our lives, our RAS has been trained by society, by our old patterns to look for problems to solve, to bring more evidence of failure so that you can avoid those failures. And that has given you the results that you currently have. If you want new results, if you want to get better at seeing the opportunities and solutions instead of problems and mistakes, then you want to get better at intentionally changing your focus. Let's see how we can do that. There's something called the results formula. There are patterns to everything in life. There are patterns to the stock market. There are patterns in maths. There are patterns in the universe, galaxies. Everything we see around us has a pattern. And our results, they have a pattern too. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Chitra. I just saw you share that. Thank you. I can see the chat. You said only yellows. Yeah, awesome. Let's start by understanding the pattern that creates our results. Who agrees that our actions and choices are partially or a good part responsible for the results that we get? So for instance, if you go to the gym for 1 year, are you likely to have a better, fitter body? Or if you work on your studies and consistently do your homework, are you likely to get better marks or do better in school? Who here believes that our actions have a good part to play in our results? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I see you, Manju and Lavanya and Chitra and Manju. Okay. But here's the thing. Sometimes we take appropriate actions. And sometimes we take bold action. Sometimes we take half-hearted action where we are like shrinking and shy, like me before in my bank. Right? Sometimes we take appropriate action. Sometimes we take half actions. Our actions vary, right? Most people look at their situation and circumstances and luck and destiny and believe that those are the sole cause of their actions. For instance, in the Bible, Adam said that Eve made him eat the apple. Eve said that the serpent influenced her to eat it. And you and I have said things like that. I cannot exercise because I don't have the time. I feel old and tired because I'm already 50. I have diabetes because, my father had it, my grandfather had it. And I'm so stressed, my boss, he's a jerk, he's a tyrant. Or this is very common that I've seen many of my clients and moms say, I cannot work on my dreams because my spouse does not support me. Now, here's the thing. These situations are not the cause of your actions or inactions. They are actually the result. They are the because, not the cause. And they come from your past choices, your past actions. And so today, I want all of you to open your mind, to stop asking for permission from your circumstances and your conditions because they are not the cause of your results. How good is it? How good is it that you don't have to wait for these people to change? We don't have to change our boss or make him retire or make him, transfer him to a different department. Do you think you can make your boss nicer? Like, can you change your partner and make him more healthy or more supportive or more anything? No, no, right? So you don't have to make anything outside of your change because you can have the results you love before your boss retires, even if your dad has been diabetic. And for that, you need to know what causes your results and apply that knowledge to your life. So the results formula is important for us to know. It says that our thoughts create our feelings. And you can understand that because when you think thoughts of your children, when you think amazing thoughts about the Onam Sadhya you're going to have, or meeting your friends, your face lights up, your body changes, everything changes, you become more energized, right? So it's thoughts that lead to our feelings, and our feelings lead to actions. So by universal law, when you feel a certain way, you are going to act that way. So when you feel excited and thrilled to meet your friends, what are you going to do? You're going to go to your wardrobe, look for the best dresses, or you'll remember, oh, all of us decided to wear yellow today, and you're all excited, and you take action based on that. And then your actions create your results. So your thoughts cause your feelings, feelings lead you to take actions, and your actions create results. So actions lead to our results, and we know that because that is the law of cause and effect. So to sum it up, thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, actions create results. So to get better results, we want to start right at the top, right at the original cause of our results. So usually we start with our actions when we want to make a change. But instead, I'm inviting you to start from the top, start from your thoughts. To get better results, we want to become better able to think thoughts that are empowering and support our results. And we are going to learn how. So again, just to sum this up, when you have certain thoughts, they lead to feelings, and that allows you to take certain actions in certain ways. Those lead to your results. So the way to increase the capacity for better results is to raise your thoughts. Raise your thoughts up in a way that they will create feelings that are better, more empowered, and you can take better, stronger, bolder action that will give you better and better results. So just to go back to my story, in my experience at that time, I had a fluke recovery from my, I almost died and it was just a fluke. I did not see the miracle that had happened. If I had believed at that time that a miraculous event had happened and that everything, including the doctor changing in the last hour, happened to support me to live, maybe she was the best surgeon for that job. And if I had thought that way, I would have experienced life differently, more positively, and amazingly more empowered in the years that followed. So, what happened? My thoughts were self shaming, they were anxious, and they affected my symptoms for years. So, that is why, if you're always thinking about how things can go wrong, and you're always at the level of problems, that is not where creative, resourceful solutions live. That is not where a life that you would love to experience, where there is so much ease, so much fun and flow, where there is high energy, that doesn't live at the level of problems. So, right here, you have the power. You have the power to learn something that less than 5% of the world, in the people in the world know this, that thoughts are the reasons, the original reasons for your results. And you belong to that set now. So let's apply these concepts and do an exercise called Notice What You're Noticing. NWYAN. Notice what you are noticing. You can write this down. So what does that mean? So let's quiet down for a second. Okay, we are all going to quiet down. We are going to co-regulate with each other. I've been talking, now this is a feeling exercise. For a moment, I invite you to bring your awareness to the place that you're sitting. Is it a chair? Is there a cushion? Is it hard or soft? Now, from the chair, bring the awareness to notice the feeling of your feet on the floor. Do you have socks on your feet? Notice the tip of your nose. Notice your fingertips. And wiggle your fingers with me. Now notice your breath. Your breath is flowing in and out through your nostrils. And as you breathe in, you can actually feel the air passing through your nose. And notice that as you breathe in, your chest is rising. And it's falling with each breath. You have just noticed your body. Now let's become aware of your thoughts. Because if we want to create new results, we want to notice the thoughts that we are thinking day in and day out. Because every day we are thinking. What are we thinking? So just like you observed your feet or the tips of your fingers, you can observe and notice your thoughts. You can notice what thoughts you're having. And you can notice, how is this particular thought making you feel? How are your thoughts influencing your emotions? So this practice is called notice what you're noticing. And once you become aware that when you think certain kinds of thoughts, that leads you to feel certain kinds of ways. When you notice this connection, you will see that you can create feelings. So now you're taking back your power. You can create feelings within yourself that will support you to take actions for results you want. So that you don't need external motivation. You don't need external support. What you need is all within you, and you can influence that with noticing your thoughts. To sum up, to get better results, practice thinking better, more empowering thoughts, and they will create feelings that move you to inspired, bold action. That will give you results that you seek. So I'm just going to pause for a second, and I want to get some feedback from you. What has landed with you so far? I'd love to see in the chat if anything that I said so far, that I shared, resonated with you. Is there a nugget that you can share so that all of us can benefit from it? There is no right or wrong answer. Thoughts create feelings. Yes. Thank you, Manju. That is true. Thoughts create feelings. Reflecting on your past right now. Thank you, Chitra. I appreciate that share. Let's keep going. Now we are going to do a quick exercise together. I want you to grab a pen and a pencil or a journal, and we're going to do a quick life assessment for you. I dive deeply into this with my clients, but we'll just do it very briefly. You're going to notice your current results. Current results in any area of your life. One is your health and well-being. The other is your love and relationships. The third is your vocation or your work. And the fourth is your time and money freedom. On a scale of 1 to 5, how fulfilled do you feel about your results in each of these areas? 1 means you are not fulfilled at all. I want you to be really honest here, because you don't have to share your answers with anybody except yourself. Notice where you're at. 1 means you're not fulfilled at all. And 5 means you feel amazing. You feel so happy. You feel so fulfilled in this area. Whatever it is, just notice what comes up. If a score is low, you may have some thoughts and feelings. That's okay. Notice them without judgment, because this is an awareness exercise. It's not a judging exercise. Let's just get quiet and observe where you are. Okay? I'll help you. So let's begin with health and wellness. You may be somebody who has relatively good health, no major symptoms, but you just yearn for greater aliveness. Or you may be feeling stuck and hopeless, like I was, in your ability to transform your health, no matter how hard you tried. Now, I want you to put a score. Just choose any one score. 1 means not fulfilled, 5 is completely fulfilled, and write your number down for health and well-being. Excellent. Now let's go to love and relationships. Are you someone who would love to deepen and have more fun in your relationships with a partner or with your kids or with friends? Maybe you want to experience a beautiful, deep, passionate relationship with one loving, caring partner. Perhaps you enjoy the company of friends, but you wish that they were more meaningful. Like, it would be wonderful if I could have deep, meaningful conversations with my kids. Whatever it is, put a score for everything together. Put a score between 1 and 5. If you notice longing and discontent in any area, then honor that and write a score that supports that. Okay, now let's go to your vocation. Vocation is basically your creative expression and your career. It's how you, as an individual that's unique with these gifts that you have, how you share your gifts with the world. Let's say you are someone who likes your work, but you feel like you're working too many hours. Or are you somebody who's stuck in a job that you absolutely don't enjoy and you just want something different? Or maybe you have lots of fun at work. It's like Google. Everything is wonderful. Whatever it is, put a score on a scale of 1 to 5 for how fulfilled you are in your work and your vocation. And lastly, let's look at your time and money freedom. Are you someone who doesn't have financial freedom to do all the things you want or to contribute to the charitable or social causes that matter to you? Are you someone who feels like you're missing out on important moments with family because you don't have any time in your life? Are you someone who's struggling to balance time and money? Maybe you have more time and less money. Maybe you have more money and less time. You just want more harmony. Whatever it is, on a scale of 1 to 5, write down a score. And this is important for us to do because this is where we are starting, where you are at. And as you reflect on your ratings, ask yourself, what is it costing you? What is the cost to stay in these results? What if you have the same results 3 or 5 years from now? Remember, change comes at a cost. But what many of us don't realize is that staying stuck in place, that comes at a cost too. Because staying stuck is costing us the life that we love. Either way, there is a cost to pay. Be courageous. Notice your thoughts and results and pain, whatever it is, so that we can transform it. Because this is an opportunity to observe. And remember, your longing and discontent are signals for growth, nudging you to choose your dream. Now, I want you to look at the 4 scores that you got in the 4 areas and circle the area with the lowest score and ask yourself, how long, how many years has this area been sending me signals? And the good news, because we studied the results formula, is that everything changes from here. So you have the power. So don't fear to look at your results. So let's look at the first key. How do we change these results? How do we transform our lives now that we know what our assessment has shown us, that there is one or more areas where we want better results? The first step or first key is to design your dream. So designing your dream is the first key and secret of dream building. If you're not seeing results that you want in a certain area of life, ask yourself, have you been clear on what you really want in that area? Did you design that area, or are you using a design that someone else designed for you, like your parents or society or a spouse? Anybody who has a house knows a house requires a detailed blueprint. And your dreams are no different because our brain thinks in pictures. And without the blueprint, without that clearly defined vision, it's impossible to build the life you desire. So the first step is to design your dream. Because you see, clarity is power. But how do you gain clarity? Let's borrow something that Howard Thurman said. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive. And then go do that. Because the world needs more people who come alive. That's the end of the quote. So this is what Howard Thurman said, that the world needs people who come alive. And as a mother, based on my experience, I'm going to say that my kids need their mom to be alive, not depleted, not anxious, not worried, not frustrated. They need a mother who is alive. When you get clear on what you truly want in life, then you begin to notice opportunities and resources that you might have missed otherwise. It's as if your reticular activation system has suddenly woken up to what you want, and it starts noticing these things. Things will appear out of the blue for you. And now let's design that. Because you want results, let's design the blueprint for your dream. Let's make it crystal clear. I invite you to choose one area or quadrant that you want to improve. So look at your earlier assessment and remember how you put a score and then you circled one area that was scoring the lowest, wherever there's most longing. So let's turn up the focus. We are going to look at it through a lens. We are going to get crystal clear on the vision you have for that area. For just a few minutes, I want you to answer this question. And as you answer this question or consider it, I want you to suspend the need to figure out exactly how something will happen. Imagine that I am your curly haired fairy godmother. I have a magic wand. And I'm asking you, just like Cinderella's fairy godmother asked her what she would love. She wanted to go to the party. What would you love to have in your life? Just consider it for a second. Now, to make it more easy, because we are all science-based folks, let's imagine we are going to step into a time machine. What would you love your life to be like 3 years into the future? So we are in 2025 now. 2028. Let's step into the time machine and fast forward 3 years. Picture your life as if it has worked out totally. You enjoy vibrant health, wonderful relationships, and everything that you desire is there. What does the life you love look like for you? Can you see it in your mind's eye? Can you feel it happening? Now, don't write anything yet, but what does that look like in your mind? At the top of your page, when you write, you want to start with, I am so happy and grateful now that, and then you're going to write a clear, detailed blueprint, describing it exactly as it is in the present tense in 2028. As an example, I'm so happy and grateful now that I wake up in the morning with vibrant energy. I jump out of bed. I love my Zumba sessions where I'm active and energetic. And I love the dance routines. And I love who I see in the mirror. I look so amazing. And I'm so happy to see myself. I tell myself regularly, I love you. You're amazing. You can do this. You got this. Whatever it is that feels like an amazing life you love, write that down. I'll give you 2 minutes. I've got a timer here. Write down your vision clearly and vividly with feeling tone in the present tense, starting with, I am so happy and grateful now that. Now that I am doing the work that I love, I'm making pottery, or I'm painting, or I'm traveling to Switzerland. You can start now. About 1 minute left. Write down who you are with. What are you doing? How are you feeling? What does it feel like to be energized, motivated, have a purpose and drive in your life? How does it change your relationship with your kids, with your spouse, with anyone else that matters? Write everything in the present tense because it's happening right now in 2028. Just a few seconds more. Now, once you finish journaling, write at the end, this or something even better. This phrase is very powerful. It's a signal that you know what you would love based on your current level of awareness. You are holding out your hands and being open and willing to receive something even better and more powerful when your awareness increases even more. So this or something even better. Can you quickly give me a thumbs up or a heart if you like that exercise? Did anybody like doing that? Did anything come up for you? Chitra? Yeah, I see it. Okay, Lavanya, that's good. Okay. All right, excellent, Manju. I see everybody. Okay. All right. Good job. Good work, because you are leaning into doing things that are sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes new and unfamiliar. So I want to appreciate you for it, and you want to appreciate yourself. Now that you have key number 1, which is to design or a vision for the life you love, the next is key number 2, that is deciding for your dream. So the next step is to decide and to commit to your dream. It's one thing to say what you want, but it's another thing to commit to bringing it into your life. This commitment means that you are fully dedicated to making your dream a reality. It doesn't matter the obstacle or the challenges that may arise, because you know that this dream is something you love. It matters. When you commit, you show up for your dream every day, even when it's hard. Think about a tree. You know how in the cities they plant these saplings. They plant these tiny saplings. Those are like the dreams that the city has for the big tree. While the sapling is tender, what do? They put a wire mesh around the sapling because they are committing, they're creating the boundaries and protecting it from the wind, from the snow, from the heat, whatever that might threaten it. And so likewise, when you commit, you make it clear that you are going to show up for your dream. You take action, stay focused, align thoughts, feelings, and actions. You give it all the attention and energy it needs. I invite you to ask yourself, how committed are you to your dream? Are you ready to take the necessary steps to stay true to the vision you just created? Deciding for your dream is extremely important. Otherwise, it's just a beautiful wish. It's when you decide for your dream, it's a powerful deed done with intention. Here's one thing I want everybody to understand. We as human beings always have a choice. We have been given the free will to take action or not take action. This is our sovereign right to take action or not take action, to feel or not to feel, to think or not to think. We want to use our free will to choose the results that we love over the results that we do not want. No one else is going to make you or force you to choose your dream. No one is going to force you to run a marathon or to pursue your passions. You are an adult, so you are the one to decide. You decide that you want this dream. And this is why this key matters, because you must master your daily, hourly decisions. And if you don't, you will get the same old results. So ask yourself, what are you deciding today? Are you deciding for your dream? Will you choose your dream or something that looks more easy, like sitting on the fence and not making any choice? Not making any choice is also a choice. Not doing anything to change is also a choice. Bob Proctor said that there is a single mental move. It's a mental move. We can do it in a millisecond, which will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation that you will encounter. It could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. And we have a name for this magic mental activity. It is called decision. Successful people have a trait. They make their decisions quickly and they change their minds slowly. They don't sit on the fence forever. They always decide it's either this way or this way, but they don't sit in the middle and stay stuck. So that's what you want to practice. True decision means you cut yourself off from any other possibility. And how do you know that you cut yourself off from any possibility that is different? Because it shows up in two places. One is in your calendar, and the second is in your checkbook. If you are here today, know that you made a commitment to show up here. That's why you are here. Because on a Saturday, all of you are busy. There are hundreds of things that you could have been doing. The only reason that you're here today is because you put it in your mental calendar, or you put it on a reminder or a physical calendar. And the second place, so the first way that we commit to something is in our calendar. The second way we commit to something is by writing a check for it with our credit card or our checkbook. Because when we pay money for something, like we buy a silk sari, that is a commitment. Now that sari is ours. And so to make a commitment to something in a real way, put it on your calendar. And here's something that I want to tell you. You do not have to know every step of the way before you take a decision. Remember, in the beginning, I invited you to look at what you would love without wondering how you're going to make it happen. I want one person to volunteer and see if you can read this. Is that you, Lavanya?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
This is a very clever example. By jumping the letters of each word, by keeping the first and last letters the same, our brains are able to still read the sentence perfectly. It's fascinating to see how our minds can make sense of jumbled text.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, isn't that interesting? How interesting is it that just like a GPS, right? When it has the beginning starting point and the ending destination, the GPS is going to figure out some way to get there. So our brain is just like that. If you give it the beginning point, which is what we did with the life assessment, where you are at right now, and then the second point, the end point, is the vision that you created for your life. Now your brain has the capacity to figure out the how. That's why we do not depend on the how to decide the what we want. We decide the what so that our brain can figure out the how. Does this make sense to you? That our brain is capable of being so resourceful as long as we tell it what to look for, what we want, what we desire, without us having to figure out the how. Is it possible that our brain can work like that? Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense for you. Yeah, okay. Okay, I see all of you. Thank you. What we are doing is we are activating the parts of our brain that we need to bring online to have a big dream and to make it happen with more fun and more ease. We looked at the first and second keys to mastering your results. One is designing your dream, second is deciding for your dream, and the third key to mastering your results is befriending your fear. Who here has felt fear before a major undertaking, like a new job, moving to a new country, or making a speech? Give me a thumbs up or a hand raise or a heart, any emoji or a yes. Yeah. Yeah, we are all familiar with that, right? Fear. Fear is our closest companion before a major undertaking. Me too, right? Whenever you have a great dream, there is a part of you that is going to think, yeah, right, this worked for somebody else, but that doesn't mean it's going to work for me. Where do I have the time for this? And remember the time that you failed before? And remember the time you signed up for the other webinar or the other course? So you see, to get to the dream, we have to accept and make friends and understand that these parts are going to show up. They are going to stop us and drag us back to our old ways. Let's call them the dragon along the route. You want to be friends with the dragons. You don't want to see the dragon as your enemy. The dragon is good news. You know why the dragon is good news? Because dragons come to you. They show up in your experience as fear, as worry, only when you are on your growing edge. Because you are on your way. If you start your journey, only then will you see a red light or a stop sign. If you're parked in your garage, you're not going to see any stop signs or red lights. So the fear is a sign that you are on the way. If I started this webinar worrying about my tech or my Wi-Fi or things that could happen, would I be able to show up with high levels of energy and enthusiasm if I let the fear stop me? No. So it's not that I don't have fear. It's not that you don't have fear. It's that we just make friends with our fear. Because we understand that fear comes to us when we are on the move. We are movers and shakers. That's why we are scared. So now let's talk about paradigms. So what is a paradigm? Paradigms are the questions that we ask ourselves. Where is the time? Yeah, right, you have failed before. You know, they will all see that you are an imposter. You're a fraud. Or you can't afford this. What if the same thing happens that happened last time? So when we are on the edge, on the green growing edge of our growth, a part of us is going to rise up. That part is like the child that wants to cling to the old ways. It wants you to stay safe and protected. And it's going to tell you all these things. So these are just old patterns. They want us to stay in the comfort zone. And paradigms do it in three ways. We'll look at that, how it shows up. The three ways that paradigm shows up are delay or distraction. So delay shows up like, I can do it next year. This is not the right time. Let me answer my emails before I start writing my book. So that is delay or distraction. The second is dissuasion. Dissuasion is going to try to completely stop you by saying, you know what happened last time? Everybody is going to laugh at you. They're going to call you all kinds of things. They're going to judge you. So dissuasion wants us to stop right there. And the third one is DEFCON. DEFCON is the scariest. DEFCON is the thing that you experience when you go on stage to speak and suddenly your heart is pounding and your breath is shaky. That's DEFCON. All the fear and anxiety kicks in, trying to keep you safe. And it can be so overwhelming that many times people try this once and they give up on their dreams entirely. But here's the thing. These paradigms do not show up when you're sitting on your couch, when you're eating chips, when you're daydreaming, when you're watching TV. We don't experience any of this when we are doing those. They only appear when you make a firm decision for a dream and you start changing your result. You sign up for a marathon. You're immediately going to start feeling the fear. The marathon may be 1 year from now. Doesn't matter. As soon as you register, you're going to feel it. So it's not a matter of if the 3 Ds show up. It's when. When you're aware, you're prepared. How you know that every time you take a new unfamiliar step, you are going to experience these paradigms and that they are good. They are good because they tell you that you are on track. And I'll show you how you can befriend them or deal with them. Who is willing to agree with me that paradigms are good news? Paradigms tell us that we are on our way. Paradigms tell us that we are moving in our life. Can I have a thumbs up from you if you agree with Manju? I see your thumbs up. Okay, Lavanya. Excellent. Paradigms are good news. Okay, paradigms cannot stop you from creating amazing results in your life. Now, the second thing I want you to understand about paradigms. There are the 3 ways they show up, but they are also sneaky. They don't tell you, hey, you cannot have the life that you want. It will not tell you directly. What it will do instead is it will tell you things like, I'm here to keep you safe. I never want you to get hurt in another relationship ever again. I want to make sure your kids are taken care of. And I never want you to feel ashamed or embarrassed in public. And sometimes it will tell you, this is not the right time. You don't have enough money. This is irresponsible. Raise your hands if you have ever tried or wanted to do something big, like do a master's or do something that is slightly outside of your scope or comfort zone. And then these things came up. Give me a thumbs up if anyone has experienced this before, where the paradigm has said, what are your in-laws going to think? What are the neighbors going to think? You're buying this new, car or whatever it is that you do that's different. They're all going to comment on this. But remember, next time it happens, remind yourself that paradigms are good news because it's a sign that you're growing. Now, I want you to remember yourself as a child. Let's think about all the times you failed as a child. When you were babies, we started out as non-walkers. So we believed in someone else's belief. We did not know that we could walk, but we saw that our parents were walking. Our older siblings were walking. We got excited. We were like, I want that result because I don't like crawling on the floor. I want to run fast like them. I want to bike like my big brother. And so as babies, we would look at others doing things and we would lock our eyes on their actions and believe in that and take first steps. And then what happened? Did we start walking? Of course not. We fell down, right? We fell down. But did we give up and say, walking is not for me? Or I'm a failure at walking. I'm such a shame and embarrassment to the family. No, we got back up. We said, if they can do it, then I can do it too. We got back up and we tried again and we fell down again. But did we stop? No. If you are walking today, it's because as a baby, you were a good dream builder. But somewhere along the way, we grew older. We stopped giving ourselves permission to fail. So if we fail in something like a relationship, we say that love is not meant for us. If we fail in business, we'll say that I'm not meant to do this. But the truth is that failing is part of the process. And we have known this since the time we were babies, since the time we were kids riding our first bike. That is why we grew and learned so much when we were kids. So why should we treat our dreams any differently? So as adults, it's time to accept that falling down and getting back up is necessary. If you want to achieve a new dream, you have to fall down. It's just like learning any new skill. So who here remembers what it was like to be a new mother? Did you know exactly when your baby was crying, why the baby was crying? Did the baby want food? Did the baby want a diaper changed? Was the baby hungry, sleepy? Did anybody know everything before we had a baby? All of us go through the new stages in our life without knowing anything about the how. And so today, I want you to open your mind to befriending your fear and give yourself permission to fail enough and as many times as it takes to succeed. Because great dream builders are willing to fail and rise again and fail and rise again. That's part of the process of dream building. And I have failed and risen so many times. But more convincingly for you, look at all these people: Oprah Winfrey, Lady Gaga, Sarah Blakely, Colonel Sanders. And there are thousands of people who have created big dreams. And they all had private failures for months and years before we all got to know them. Khan was sleeping on a bench in Mumbai, trying movie after movie before he became the famous star that he is. Just like these people, your dreams, whether you want to write a book and be an author, whether you want to hike up a mountain, whatever it is worth pursuing because rejection and challenges are part of your journey. Small, big dreams, they require persistence. Rejection is not the end. You will absolutely succeed if you do not quit. How do you keep going? How can you keep going when doubt is screaming at you to give up and turn back? Do you know? Here's a simple mental exercise you can do. You can actually mentally and physically do it because your body is very powerful. You can actually put out your hand. Remember, we learned how to notice what we are noticing. When you notice a thought that is disempowering, that makes you shrink back, that makes you fearful and afraid, then you can actually say, not today. You can tell that fear or thought that today is not the day I'm going to give you time. And every day you keep doing it. So far, give me a thumbs up if you are all still awake, because I know if you're in India or Doha, it's late for you. And give me a thumbs up if you're all still awake and you're all still engaged and this landing. I see all the thumbs up because I know that you have had a long, hard day. And I appreciate you for leaning into learning about this work. So now notice what you're noticing. Notice how you're feeling. Notice what actions it's making you do. Are you doing an action without confidence, without conviction, because the fear is holding you back? And when you notice that, then you can change your thoughts to empowering thoughts that say, you can do this. I believe in you. You got this. And then when the fear comes up, you tell it, not today. And you use your hand and show with your body, today is not the day I want to buy into you. And the other way in which you can take charge of your energy, especially when it comes to your kids. When it comes to your kids, if you ever find yourself losing patience, getting angry and irritable, and you don't want that to happen again, then this is one thing you can do before you engage, which is, let's practice that for a second. So if a teenager is not listening to you, and then think about how it makes you feel in your body. Think about how it makes you feel in your heart. Now, I want you to take a deep breath with me. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth as if through a straw. Now do it once more. Breathe in deep and then breathe out slowly as if you're blowing out through a straw, just like that, with care. Now imagine the same scenario, but from the aspect of what you would love. What would you love that day to go like? What would it be like if everything worked out and you had the most amazing connected moment with your child? What would that look like? Imagine that. Imagine the way your heart expands. Imagine how you feel, how happy it makes you feel when you connect with your adult child or your teenager or your little one and soak in that vibration. Now, from that space, think of how you would love to connect with them, how you're going to approach them. Or think of one action step that you can take in 5 minutes. What is one action step that you can take that expresses love, not fear? So if you found one step that you think from this energy you can take, then write it down. Because we want to remember that where our attention goes, that is where our energy flows. So if we want to be masters of our energy, to have more energy, more power, then we want to know, where are we putting our attention? Are we putting our attention on the bad things, the things that we didn't like, the things that will not work? Or are we willing and able and ready to put our attention on the things we would love? Now think about a car. When you want a car to move forward, what do? Apart from turning on the key and getting it started, do you disengage the handbrake? Yeah, right? Nobody drives with the handbrake on. Because how fast and how well are you going to drive if you have the handbrake on with fear and anytime anything can happen? Our paradigms are like the handbrake that do not let our car, it could be a BMW, it could be a Mercedes-Benz, but it's never going to go as far and as safe and as fast as possible if we let the handbrake, leave it on. So interrupt it, learn to interrupt it, and reframe to what you would love. This is how you beat your paradigms. You notice, you refocus on your dream, and then you give attention to the energy of the vision, not your fears, not your worries. Okay? This dream of yours, it has got good in it. So put the fear out of your mind and bring to mind your dream. Now, with reference to your dream, there was an area in your life that in your assessment you found that had a low score, right? You created a vision for it. I want us to just think about one action step that you can take in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, you can actually take one small, powerful action to get you started. Even if it's doing it afraid. Let me give you an example of a 5-minute action. When I consider that I want to do a webinar in Edmonton, I want to do it in front of audiences. It takes me only 5 minutes to come up with the name of a person who I have a relationship with, who has lots of connections with people here. It took me only 5 minutes to call that person up and tell him that, hey, I'm a life coach now. This is what I do. I'd love to present for your organization. Does it take courage? Probably, right? Does it take belief? Yes. But here's the thing. If you're willing to fail and fail again and again and rise up again and again, you can do anything. And it only takes 5 minutes to get you started. So right now, think about that area where you have a vision. Think about that area, and I'll give you 30 seconds to come up with one idea that will take you no more than 5 minutes to get you started on the step that you can take. Okay, so now that you have one action, raise your hand if you all got at least one action that you can take. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, Lavanya, you have one action. Excellent job. Good work. Who else has an action? Okay, Chitra, I see you. You've got one action step. And Manju, I see you. Excellent job. Wonderful. Awesome. You have one action step. Now you have a better understanding of what it actually means to befriend your fear. Because once you take that action in the next few minutes after this webinar is over, you will see what it feels like to befriend your fear, because action is the best antidote to fear and anxiety. What is the action step that you came up with? So now that you have learned the 3 keys to mastering the results and creating a life you love, these are just a tiny part of what I teach my clients in my 12-week Dream Builder program. And we practice these things every week, week after week. So I want to go over these again. Designing your dream. Second is deciding for your dream. And the third is befriending your fear. Can you let me know if you connected with any of these ideas? Because right now, I want to speak to the part of you that raised a hand and enrolled for this workshop. Maybe you got the invitation from a friend or saw a post, or I might have sent you a text, but you signed up and you noticed something wonderful is already happening with you. You took one decision and you carved out time in your calendar and you made that happen. You are the kind of person who says yes when amazing opportunities come your way, and I want to honor you. I want to honor you for being someone who shows up for their dream. And I want you to celebrate that in yourself. And so now I remember I promised a gift for anybody who wants to work on a special dream that you have not been able to make happen on your own, or if you want to work on your vision with me, even for an hour. Now, I've seen my life transform. I've seen so many others' lives transform. So nothing surprises me anymore when I see things happening. So as a gift to you, I want to support you with a free strategic visioning session. This is a session where you will get more clarity on the blueprint that you made, and you can keep working on the dream that you've started writing on, and that will help you come alive in the next 3 years. We will do a diagnostic evaluation of your 4 quadrants. We will look at how and what are holding you back from living your full potential so that you know what to focus on. And then we will focus on the blind spots that are keeping you stuck, which you may be unaware of. Because here's the truth. If we are in the picture, if we are in the frame, that we cannot see the full picture. Okay, so, and the third thing we will do is we'll put your vision through a 5-point audit so that your vision is magnetizing, alive, and life-giving. So if this speaks to you, remember that I have worked with a few clients in the last few years, even while I was working on myself. While I was on my healing journey, I have worked with clients. And in my experience, people don't stay stuck and struggle because there is no information, there are no strategies or tactics. In fact, everybody has access to free information, free, education, free learning videos. Everybody knows all hacks, but the real obstacles are the hidden patterns that we are not aware of because they are part of us. They are part of our old paradigms, the core beliefs. And so this is my invitation. If you are interested in working on your dream, book a 45-minute to 1 hour call with me. It's free. And then we will look at how you can work on your dream. Because inspiration without action is just entertainment. I'm not an entertainer, and I don't think you are here to be entertained. So I will send you the link in my follow-up email along with the recording of this video. And please book a time if you feel called to keep working on the dream. This is the last part of our webinar. And I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for engaging, for listening, and for staying present. Let me read this out. I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I had had the courage to express my feelings. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. I wish I had let myself be happier. Do you know who said these things? These are powerful words from the book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. It was written by a palliative care nurse. Her name is Bronnie. And she worked with these people who were at the end of their lives. And many of them shared deep reflections and regrets with her. And this book talks about that. And these statements are real sentences spoken by people at the end of their life. So I want you to consider this. So this is a 2-minute timer. There is a little bit of colored sand in this. Represents time, right? But nobody knows how much of that is left for us before it runs out. None of us know. So deep down, you know there's something more for you. And something inside you is urging you to take action, to be brave, to connect, and to truly live. And I want you to remember, dreams unfold step by step, decision by decision. And right now, if you feel like your dream is out of reach, remember, you have the choice. You have one precious life. Embrace it. And so I conclude, it has been my greatest honor and pleasure to share everything that I learned with you in the time that we had today. And here's to your dreams, Dream Builder.